Hello everybody, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. Some breaking news about the fallen Freiburg police officer. The 20-year-old will update you on that.
And Mary Mayhew's announcement to run for governor did not come without controversy. Did she make a mistake?
Also, if you haven't seen this, you're going to love it. If you have, you're going to love it anyway. An amazing moment last night on America's Got Talent.
This is News Center Now.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Amanda Hill. A difficult day for the Freiburg Police Department means entire law enforcement community and, of course, the family of a young police officer. Officer Nathan Desjardins died yesterday at the age of 20. The Freiburg Chief of Police sent his condolences late this afternoon. Desjardins was injured in the line of duty on a rescue mission for a missing canoeist over Memorial Day weekend. It was his first day of field training on the force. Police say the boat carrying Desjardins and Officer Dale Stout struck something in the Penobscot River and crashed. Stout was hospitalized but later released. Police Chief Joshua Potvin offered his condolences, saying Desjardins died serving the citizens of Freiburg.
Chief Potvin said in a statement today, during this extremely difficult time of mourning the loss of one of my own, I have to find the words and strength to inspire my officers, to motivate them and reassure them that together we will be okay and still have a job to do. I ask that you keep Officer Desjardins' family in your thoughts and prayers, as well as our law enforcement and first responder community during this extremely difficult time. According to the Officer Down Memorial page, Officer Desjardins marks the 89th in the line of duty death in Maine. It's the first for the Freiburg Police Department.
All right, switching gears, there's already controversy around Mary Mayhew's run for governor. During her announcement yesterday, Mayhew referenced some props which appeared to be giant news articles with the masthead of Maine's three large newspapers: the Portland Press Herald, the Lewiston Sun-Journal, and the Bangor Daily News.
So Chris Costa joins us now. Chris, the Press Herald took issue with these props.
Yeah, Lee and Amanda, the Press Herald reports that they issued a cease and desist letter because Mayhew's campaign never asked them permission to use their masthead right up here, citing a possible violation of intellectual property. Executive editor Cliff Schechtman says it's today's political climate and the stigma of fake news that he's concerned about, but other papers aren't on the same page.
Let's write Maine's success story.
It's the narrative that the Portland Press Herald's executive editor is concerned about.
That's our name. You can't use it for fake news or for other uses.
He says the paper's nameplate should not be used for politics.
I don't think people believe that we published that, but it's using in a political campaign, and that's totally inappropriate.
Executive editor of the Sun-Journal, Judith Meyer, says Mayhew's campaign did not ask their permission either before using the masthead. But she feels differently.
So we knew that it was political theater is how we looked at it.
The actual text of the posters is written in Latin and is standard filler text for many word processing documents. Meyer says politicians have used their logos in the past.
As readers and viewers come to news outlets for information, so they're very familiar with what mastheads look like or what logos look like, and politicians know that, and so they employ that familiarity.
We need to write the headlines for the future of this state.
Mayhew said in her news conference that these were headlines she would like to see in the future. Hopefully, thanks to her work in office.
There's no fraud here. There's no lying. There's no fake news. It's what she dreams for Maine.
Schechtman says it complicates the media landscape at a time when outlets are trying to shed the stigma of being fake.
But I'm deeply religious about the truth, and we publish the truth. That's all we do.
We also reached out to the Bangor Daily News. We got no response from them. We also reached out to Mary Mayhew and the person running her campaign. We got no response from them either. But we also talked to Jason Savage with the Maine GOP. He said there's a difference between a candidate laying out their vision for the future with a type of prop versus misrepresenting the past. So when we talked to the executive editor of the Sun-Journal, Judith Meyer, she said that if the headlines or the language of a true article were misconstrued, then they would have a problem. So it's kind of using them as a prop with no true context on there. Like we said, it was in Latin. You know, some of those people feel okay about it, but again, there's still newspapers, including the Press Herald, who feel, look, this shouldn't have been represented in this way. So two very different sides to this, and a lot of comments too.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Yesterday, we told you about school buses in Westbrook and how they were months late on state-mandated safety inspections.
Maine State Police inspectors were at the bus yard this morning looking over that fleet, and that visit comes after it was discovered inspection stickers on 9 of the buses had expired. Those buses had to be pulled from the road. 6 were regular route buses. The other 3 were spares. School buses are required to be inspected every 6 months. Some of the buses with expired stickers were checked out yesterday. The rest were inspected today. While at the yard, the inspectors looked over the rest of the fleet as well. The school department has made changes to make sure the stickers do not expire again.
All right, I'm not sure what happened, but the sun came out and Keith's not here, but he's here when it rains, so he makes Jess come when it's sunny. Jess, I don't know, you should file a grievance.
I think you know what happened, right? I'm here today. It's beautiful. We had a great day. It looks like another good one for tomorrow, too. Right now, though, a couple showers starting to move in across northern Maine. Could see just a few isolated showers through the night tonight, but it's looking good again for tomorrow. An area of high pressure keeping skies mostly clear, so things aren't looking too bad out there. And again, we should see plenty of sun for tomorrow as well. As far as high temperatures went for today, 77 the high today in Bangor, a few degrees above normal for this time of year. 67 in Rockland, made it to 69 today in Portland. Still a couple degrees below normal, but we'll continue to see those temperatures improve as we go through the rest of the week and definitely into this weekend. Right now, most of us in the low to mid 60s at the coast, where it usually is a little bit cooler. Farther inland, though, you're in the mid to upper 70s there. Not too bad out there this evening, and it should be a pretty nice night as well. Huge temperature difference from yesterday at this same time, anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer tonight, and we have even warmer temperatures on the way. I'll tell you about those coming up in a little bit, guys.
All right, thanks, Jess. Before we get to more news, just a quick correction to the story about Officer Desjardins. Not Penobscot River, obviously it was the Saco River. Other news, almost 3 years after the sudden death of a Winthrop field hockey player, the town is honoring her life. Kelsey Staunton collapsed in August of 2014 due to a pulmonary embolism and died a day later at Maine Medical Center. The school keeps her memory alive with a retired jersey, an annual scholarship, and a spot at her graduation. Now the field she played field hockey on will bear her name. The Kelsey Ann Staunton Memorial Field opens after a brief ceremony at 6:30 tonight. Anyone is welcome to offer memories of Kelsey.
Last year he won the Preakness. This year he's in the running for the Belmont Stakes. George Kerr of Old Orchard Beach is part owner of Multiplier. That horse will be in the 10th post position for the last race in the Triple Crown, and it'll be this weekend. Kerr was part owner of Exaggerator, the winning horse of last year's Preakness. You can watch the Belmont Stakes right here on NBC on Saturday. A couple in Portland got a surprise during their weekly workout.
Yeah, Ed and Gloria Gallant seldom miss their weekly Forever Fit exercise class at Fitness Factory. Their workout buddies threw a surprise birthday party this morning to celebrate their 90th birthdays, shared this month. Balloons, presents, cupcakes caught the couple by surprise. Ed and Gloria have been married 60 years. They have 6 kids, 13 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. They'll be featured in an upcoming episode of 207 next week. And if you're getting a tattoo this summer, you want to stick around for our next story. Artists and doctors are issuing a warning. Plus,
wanted to survive.
A singer-songwriter who cannot hear her own music. Her performance on America's Got Talent will blow you away.
Coming up tonight on 207, we're in the kitchen with Josh Berry. He's the executive chef at Union at the Press Hotel in Portland. What's on the menu, Josh?
We're going to showcase some great local shellfish and seafood that we're featuring here, all from Maine.
Cod, clams, plus bok choy and more tonight on 207.
A scary story for anybody thinking about getting some ink. For one man, a trip to the beach got him a terrible flesh-eating bacteria, which eventually killed him.
I'm all set. I'm all set. There's a reason he caught the bacteria. According to his doctors, he had just got a new tattoo. Now, more Americans are getting ink in recent years than ever before, but as we head into summer months, tattoo artists say that this patient's story should actually be a pretty big warning. NBC's Bianca Castro has that story.
There are rules that tattoo artist Caleb Barnard tells every client.
Stay out of the ocean, stay out of the river, stay out of the lake, stay out of the pool, stay out of the hot tub.
Because this is what could happen. These pictures, recently published by doctors, are of a 31-year-old Dallas man's infected tattoo. Doctors say 5 days after he got the ink done, he went swimming in the Gulf of Mexico. 3 days later, he was in the care of Dr. Nicholas Hendren.
And very quickly, within a number of hours, began to get more discolored, more bruised, and actually had large blisters that began to form, which is certainly alarming to us as it was to him.
Dr. Hendren says a bacteria called Vibrio vulnificus entered the man's body through his fresh tattoo. The bacteria is common in Gulf waters. Most infections happen from eating raw oysters.
The most common symptom in healthy or mild infections is just some nausea, some vomiting, or diarrhea. For severe infections like our patient, extreme pain, rapid changes in skin discoloration, rapidly changing wounds within a matter of hours are all signs that there's potentially a very serious infection going on.
Doctors say the man's prior liver disease from heavy drinking made the infection worse. He died from septic shock 2 months later. And with the summer months here, Caleb says it's a reminder about tattoo safety.
If you adhere to what we tell you to do, you shouldn't have any problems at all.
Pay attention.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the
I
key
wasn't
here.
going to get a tattoo, and now I'm still not going to get a tattoo. Last year, or eat raw oysters apparently. Last year, a Harris poll found that 3 in every 10 Americans have a tattoo. If you have one, you are likely to then get more.
I've heard that it's addicting. Very interesting.
Sure.
Okay, it's the awe-inspiring singer that everyone is talking about today. Hear what she has to say about her amazing journey and how music saved her.
And leave it to Jess, since Keith couldn't do it, to bring in that sunshine. We'll go sunny side up after the break. All right, if you live in Waldo County, you might have heard something just a little bit unusual this morning.
That's because a 2.1 magnitude earthquake rolled through the area. Samantha York spoke with people about what they actually experienced.
Waldo County Dispatch gets a number of calls on a daily basis, but for an earthquake, now that's rare. But Wednesday morning, call after call came in for what sounded like a huge explosion. And come to find out, it was a 2.1 magnitude earthquake that was felt from Monroe to Winterport. Now, Dan Rowley works with Waldo County's Emergency Operations Center. He says that he heard the bang from his home in Winterport. They received calls from some people who only heard it, but others say they had things fall from their shelves. And one woman that I spoke to said that she was afraid someone had crashed into her house.
Instantly, I thought, oh my golly, it's like a big tractor trailer has just plowed into my house. I mean, it was that kind of a bang. Kind of gives you a freaky, scary feeling for a few minutes, like, now what's going to happen?
Now, Maine has had only a handful of earthquakes in the last few years, and the people that I spoke with said they're glad that this one was as small as it was. Back to you.
All right, Daniel in Prospect says the earthquake shook his coffee cup, and the cats, well, they freaked out.
Of course they did. Pat lives in Orland and did not feel a thing.
And Deanna says she's in Hamden and didn't feel anything either, but did hear a loud, weird noise. We saw
Perhaps unrelated.
Yes, well, we saw, that's true, that could have been anything. It could have been one of my kids. We saw a weird thing up in the sky today. I believe it's called the sun.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this? But yeah.
Haven't seen it in so long.
With Lee, you have to wait it out.
I know.
You got to wait it out a little.
Yeah. No, it was great today.
Oh, really? Really?
It was beautiful today.
It was beautiful today, right? And it's going to be nice tomorrow, too. Friday, maybe some rain, but, you know, it's okay. We'll take what we can get, I guess, right now. Temperatures currently still aren't too bad along the coast. We're in the low to mid 60s, but really feeling pretty nice with all that sunshine. The rest of us, anywhere from the mid, even some upper 70s still out there, 77 currently in Bangor. So a pretty nice afternoon and evening, and it looks like the nice weather continues right into the day tomorrow too. We are seeing a couple showers though near the Greenville area. You may just run into an isolated shower through the night tonight, maybe even an isolated shower tomorrow, but not enough to really worry about. But if you see just a couple clouds and a couple of raindrops, don't be too surprised. The rest of us saw plenty of sunshine today as high pressure worked its way into the area. So again, it looks good for the day tomorrow. We'll go through the hour by hour forecast here. Temperatures will start out pretty nice. Upper 50s, lower 60s tomorrow morning. And then some of us are going to make it into the mid to upper 70s, could even get close to 80 by tomorrow afternoon. Mostly clear skies too, but you can see by tomorrow evening, a couple clouds start to move in. A low pressure system is going to move. It's going to stay off to our east, it looks like, for the day on Friday. However, with an upper level low pressure system over our area, it's going to be enough to make some showers throughout the day on Friday. So it's not going to be heavy downpours, it looks like right now, but enough of that nuisance rain to just make Friday kind of a gloomy day. You can see by Friday afternoon, temperatures still staying on the cool side in the 60s, but we will see that rain around for most of the day. Tomorrow, again, temps looking pretty good. Most of us in the 70s. Bar Harbor, Rockland, a little bit cooler in the upper 60s there. But then some warmer air moves into our area. This is this weekend. You can see we start to get a little bit warmer, upper level pattern looking good for us, and it looks like the warm temperatures are going to stick around into the beginning of next week too. Marine forecast for tomorrow sees 2 to 4 feet, winds from the southwest at about 5 to 10 knots, could gust a little bit higher to around 20 knots by tomorrow afternoon. So here's a look at your extended forecast. Again, looking good for the day tomorrow. Friday we'll see the showers, and then this weekend looks awesome. We'll see pretty nice day for Saturday, a chance for a few isolated showers by Saturday afternoon. Then by Sunday, mid 80s for most of us, low to mid 80s, and it continues right into next week. Wow. Monday, Tuesday, staying in the 80s. A little bit of a cool down Wednesday, but we're still seeing the sun. So Friday is the only day that's not spectacular.
Oh, and then suddenly summer.
I know.
What do we keep for? We've got Jess.
I know, right?
You can stick around as long as you want.
Okay, thanks.
We'll keep you. Alrighty.
I think I'm going to be surprised or amazed by people, and then you turn up.
It was a moment that aired on America's Got Talent last night. It has a lot of people talking and in some cases crying today.
29-year-old Mandy Harvey has a connective tissue disorder that caused her to go deaf when she was 18. Harvey, who's been singing since she was 4, decided not to let hearing loss stop her from following her dreams. So she uses muscle memory, visual tuners, and trusts her pitch.
She also takes her shoes off when she sings so she can feel the beat through the floor to stay on tempo. Our sister station in Alabama caught up with Mandy after her audition aired. Here's what she said and how that audition went.
Hi, how are you?
And what's your name?
Mandy Harvey.
The only way that I felt comfortable expressing myself was through music.
I don't feel the way I used to. The sky is gray, much more than it is blue.
I think that's why it hit me so hard when I lost my hearing and I stopped doing music. I felt as if I lost my entire identity, and I became lost.
If I would try, if I would try, oh.
It was never, oh, I want to figure out how to do music. That didn't come until much later. I just wanted to survive. I wanted to like myself again and just be a human, a person who leaves at their house and isn't so depressed that they're struggling to breathe.
Mandy, I don't think you're going to need a translator for this.
I want to encourage other people to see the barriers that they have in their life and to crush them and to say, you know what, I'm the one holding myself back. I'm the one who's stopping myself because I'm afraid. I'm afraid to fail. Who cares if you fail? It's a beautiful way to learn about yourself, to get up, to try again, and to do something that somebody else might say is impossible.
And that golden buzzer at the end of the clip means Mandy has automatically advanced into the live performances portion. That's where America gets to vote. And that audition video that we just saw some pieces of, almost 60 million views as of today. And the song that Mandy performed, which she also wrote, oh, by the way, already available on iTunes.
Yeah, a lot of you have been talking about it today. So when we come back, Keith Carson is in the field talking about the pros and cons of wind farms. Keith is not here with us today.
Good. Yeah, he looks good.
But he still wanted to drop some knowledge.
That's what he does.
Right.
So with the president's decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement last week, been a lot of chatter about energy in our country.
Here in Maine, renewable energy is actually more common than you might think, and wind energy is chugging along at a consistent clip. Keith Carson visited the Spruce Mountain Wind Farm in Woodstock to have a look at the upsides and downsides of kinetic energy.
Regardless of your stance on fossil fuel emissions, one thing is clear. Those resources are finite, and a long-term energy plan must include renewable sources. Maine, due to its largely rural nature, is a perfect candidate for wind turbines that work via kinetic energy to produce electricity. Not surprisingly, there's a strong weather angle when it comes to these turbines. They do best in prevailing but generally light winds. In fact, when winds get too high, say during a nor'easter, the turbines actually rotate to absorb less of the wind and eventually shut down. With Maine being the windiest state in New England, surely people are clamoring to build more wind farms.
I think most people like the fact that there is renewable energy in Maine that's being generated and put into the New England grid system. But I don't think that people are open to having it right where they live.
Therein lies one of the greatest challenges for wind energy. Not everyone wants one in their backyard. As a study of fact, the turbines are, on average, hitting homes with the same decibel level as refrigerators running inside, and, contrary to popular belief, do not kill birds at an elevated rate. But still, there's the aesthetic.
Most people will complain about the way that they look or that they're intrusive, that we're changing our landscape, we're changing the way it looks, and all of that is very subjective, and we're very sensitive to people's feelings, and we're very sensitive that we're not taking out more than we need, which is why I love to do tours, and I love it when people can come up and see it themselves and they can see that we actually did only take just as much roadway as we need to make it up here for our emergency vehicles, that the mountain really is still here.
Look, wind energy is not the magic bullet. It currently plays a strong supplemental role in Maine's energy picture, accounting for almost 14% of generation last year. But it has one limiting issue all renewable sources have. It cannot be efficiently and effectively stored for use at a later time. Natural gas can be stored, coal can be stored, but not wind power. Solving that issue could open Maine and the rest of the world to a new era of juice. For News Center, I'm meteorologist Keith Carson.
There you go. And he posted this story yesterday, and he saw a lot of comments saying the same thing, that wind energy we produce is not being used for Maine homes. Keith did some research, says this is a misunderstanding.
Yeah, so Spruce Mountain, for example, uses the electricity to fill demand in Maine first and foremost, but when the supply outweighs the local demand, the energy does travel to other regions. If the current wasn't moved to the demand point, then that would be wasted. And Maine also buys electricity from other states. That's how the grid works. Otherwise, it would collapse.
Thanks, Keith.
Dropping knowledge.
5:30 starts now.